Boom. I was stretching off camera. It's been so busy. I'm literally doing like a salute to the sun, trying to open up my chest. I'm super busy right now. A million things happening. I don't know if you noticed this Sunday or last Sunday, nothing came out. Not because I didn't want it to. I mean, we've got a few projects that are in the pipeline, not quite at the level that I was wanting them to be at. And in the end, I had to make the call. I just couldn't do it. It's been crazy, crazy busy. So really quickly, actually action-packed Maté talk today. We'll be talking about the beautiful brand of Balchaud, but primarily it's about updates on all things OT and also with the KM fragrance tours. I've had a number of questions raised. So first, announcements, and they are as follows. International orders, I promise I'm gonna share everything. Have a look at this. Baby, we are ready to go. This is what we've been doing furiously. Right now, Kevin is working very frantically. Sandra was in just before. We've got crews that are just constantly just packing and getting orders. And this is only a part of the order. So a lot of orders going out on this. You'll be getting shipments soon. Anyway, announcements. I'll share more shortly. The next thing is, in the batches going out, there are these cards, and I'll share more about what this means. So this is the Look at My Face signed cards. This is actually Kevin's. This is Kevin's card. Luca signed 10, and then I had one signed for me, one signed for Kevin. So I'm 11, Kevin is 12. So this is our card. But anyway, in the batches. So when you get those, I want you to, I'll tell you more. US grand opening. It's coming. It's actually going live very, very soon. So look out for that. We'll share more. Then the last thing is the Discovery Series, and I'll give you some updates on both the OT Discovery Series and also the Zaharoff. But let me begin with the KM Fragrance Tours. I announced a few weeks back that we've just opened the France or South of France tour for 2026, September next year. I've had a number of emails and also DMs in regards to the tour, some questions. And so today I really want to bring them all together and share that in case other people are thinking the same thing and what is this about. Now, for those, and I think it's only fair that I give you a bit of a legacy as to how all this started. What is this thing? Kevin and I are the first in the world when it comes to all things fragrance touring and the experiences that we create. And I want to share with you how we've been moving down the line and why, because one of the questions is 3.5 days, are you doing a longer tour? So let me tell you the scope of what's actually happening for 2026. But let me begin with this, and this is the photo of, this is the genesis. This is where it all began. It was October 2022. Kevin and I had just finished doing a live. Actually, I was doing a live. Kevin joined me in his, as you can see him, he's in his pajamas. And the conversation that came out of in that live was, it would be cool if we could, hang out with you guys and meet the perfumers and the people that you guys meet, plus do all the behind the scenes activity that you guys do. And it literally, we finished the live, and I said to Kevin, wouldn't it be a cool idea, and we started to unbox this. And Sandra was just taking some photos, and she took that photo, but that's really the birth of KM Fragrance Tours. Actually, this is where it all happened. Then so I wanted to see whether is this just like a little dream, or could there be a reality associated to this? I was going to Aix-en-Provence in June in 2023, and I thought, what if I just did a small tour? I put it out to people and said, would you guys like to join me? We'll walk you around Aix-en-Provence. I'll get you to meet some key people. So rather than just going in there and being overwhelmed, I'll curate this so that it becomes quite a nice experience for you guys. I was testing for 2 grounds. One, could it work with people? Could I host people successfully? Was this going to get weird? I mean, you see me on screen like this, but do you know who I really am, sort of thing? And the other thing too is I respond to you but I don't know who you guys really are either. So truthfully, I was a little bit nervous going into it, thinking, am I gonna end up in the back of someone's van, You love Creed too much, they were gonna abduct me and bury me somewhere. So it was a great success. And so that Essence 2023 was really a test to see could it work, and it was a great success. In fact, become really good friends with a lot of these people. So Harold, who will be now named Roberto, Luke, and also Mercedes, these people have stayed connected with the channel, and the friendships that have emerged from that is fantastic. So that then gave us the green light to say, okay, let's push it to the next level. That same year in 2023, in September, we did the France tour. And interesting that we did this, not necessarily last minute, but we really rushed to get this over the line. And we were very fortunate to get 7 unique people from around the world and super passionate. It actually was, for our first go at it, such a great success. The connection that we established with everybody was fantastic. We made some mistakes, and one of them was that we put too many things. We thought more is more. We were wearing everybody out. We realized that we needed to create, an ebb and flow to the whole thing. That then birthed the France fragrance tour in 2024, yes. And that then became a little bit more rhythmic in the sense that we didn't crowd the field with so many things. It was more about now where we were. We sort of had a chance to mellow out and expand the experiences with the brands. Some of the questions that got raised at the time is, are you planning to do another Essence tour? And we thought, you know what, let's roll the dice, because our big tours, the France tour, for instance, they're longer. They're, a 6-7 day experience. And so a few people asked, could you do a 1-day event? And so we decided to roll the dice and see what it would be like to do an Essence tour, but now as a full day experience. The first Essence tour I did was only like a half day, it was 3 or 4 hours. Whereas now let's, do the whole day. We made the same mistake again, which was we crowded the field with too many activities. By the end of the day, everybody was exhausted. And so that also birthed what's going to happen in 2026, and I'll tell you more about that shortly. The last tour that we did, it was in Italy. We did that in September this year. This was now a 9-day tour. And we really wanted to see, we wanted to take it one step further, slowing things down. And now we brought in some more cultural experiences. So we layered our touring with fragrance behind the scenes, meeting key people. But now we added extra things. Originally, we had 2 cities. So the first, in 2023, the France tour was only 2 cities that we went to visit. Then in 2024 in France, we went to 3 cities. We actually went off across to Monaco. And in Italy this year, we thought, you know what, let's do 5. More is more. And so we went to 5 cities. Now, I feel we have the right formula with everything. The one thing that we missed, and this is what's happening for 26, is that it was now a 9-day tour. The price also reflects that, because we're staying in beautiful locations, plus we're dining in very nice restaurants. They're all Michelin recommended. We even had a Michelin starred restaurant that we went to. And some of the questions being raised were, I wish I could join you, but 1, I can't take that much time off. And 2, the pricing is, it's substantial. And Kevin and I, this is something that we've been talking about, because we want these tours to be accessible to everybody. We don't want to just pitch it to an elite customer. And this is why we did the Essence tour this year, where it was a 1-day event. It was really about making it as accessible as possible, so that a lot of people could join us on this. So next year's tour is all about that. We're trying to bring down the number of days. It's going to be a 3.5-day tour. The lessons that we've learned previously, and that is to slow things down, but now take our time with the brands rather than just, pop, pop, pop. It's now, if we're going to be with the brand, we're going to elaborate and really, it's literally like, eat the marrow out of the bone. So rather than just the meat that's on the bone, just get right into and enjoy the whole process. And I'm going to share more about what the plans are with all things Balchaud and the activities that we're going to be doing there. We've created a video, but I'm going to elaborate so you understand clearly what will happen on that particular day. We're also doing the same for Hubigon, and we're doing the same for Sorador, and I'll share more. So the tour for next year, yes, it's only 3.5 days, but it's really going to be about taking your time and getting even more immersive than what we've done previously. The other advantage too is that we're trying to, I guess, format the costs so that we don't lower the experience. We still want this to be a premium experience. We still want this to be, you know, the dining is Michelin recommended. We want to make sure that all the things that we're doing, the activities, even the transfers, that these are all private transfers. So we're keeping the level of what KM Fragrance Tours needs to be. The difference is that we're now trying to, rather than move around, and this is what we also have to add costs. I mean, in Italy, we went to 5 different locations, and all these movements is, you know, there's an extra layer of cost to each of these. So this time around, we're staying in one location, and from there, we're gonna move around, but our base will be in Mougins, and we're staying at the Royal Mougins, a location that we've stayed in the past. It's a beautiful 4-star property. And we like it because the rooms are spacious, the grounds are gorgeous in the sense that you're literally in the heart of, you know, this beautiful landscape. There's the scenery, the animals, the birds, all that sort of stuff. So we want this to be, we continue to be a premium experience for everybody. Now what I'm going to do, so that's the legacy of what we've been doing. I'm going to share more about all things that we're about to do with Balchaud and who Balchaud is and that connection with that. But I'm going to do multiple stops because right now I need to pass this first part of the production to Grace so she can begin to edit. We're packing orders right now and Kevin needs my help. So I'll be back. So let me keep going. I'm going to do another break in a few minutes because Kevin needs me for another task. He's the taskmaster. I'm basically his worker bee. He's go here, go there. So as I mentioned, so we've been learning as we've been moving through the KM tours, and every year we add another layer and sort of elaborate it a little bit differently. One thing that we learned from the France tour in 2023, which we then executed in 2025. Let's start again. What we learned in the France tour 2024 last year and what we actually implemented this year was the ability to integrate with brands. So it becomes more than just, you know, go to a boutique and, you know, have the founder there, which is what we do, and they elaborate on the story. But now how do we wanted to go to that next level. How do we integrate with the brands and who they are as personalities? For instance, with Boyce 1920, the day before we met with the Boyce team, we actually did an understanding of Florence and the Renaissance. And we had a guided tour through both Accademia and also Uffizi, and had a chance to understand who were the Medicis and how did they integrate, how do they implement the Renaissance essentially? How do they, you know, what was the purpose behind that? And then the next day with Boyce 1920, we went to, check out the footage, we went to this beautiful villa that belonged to the Medicis. We had this incredible setup in this location. And it was about integrating these brands that have this beautiful long history, Boyce 1920, since 1920, all owned by the same family and so integrated with all things Florence. And then the chance to see, I guess, history come to life and all this, and be surrounded by all of it. So it's more than just, here's a perfume, smell it, and here's the guy that created it, or the person that created it. It's about how do we sort of dovetail everything together. We did the same in Rome with both Pantheon, Roma, and Cor Eterno. We did these integrated moments so people could understand what motivated these brands to become who they are and how they express themselves. And I'll tell you more about what's happening in the south of France with this same form of integration. The other thing that we learned during the France 24, which we then implemented in Italy 25, was the celebration of what we were doing, and as a result, involving other people and more people across the world. And the beautiful brand of OT was born as a result. So Olfactive Traveler was born as a way of expressing ourselves with we're celebrating the tours and linking it to the cities, and this is the gorgeous Pelle Viola. This actually belongs to somebody. Somebody's, this is I'm handwriting a note to these individuals because all these orders are going out, as I mentioned. As a result, this year, the OT was born, and then Luca Maffei, and all these pieces are coming together again. So for South of France 2026, we've got some things planned, and I don't want to I'm going to share the core of it, but there are other things that we're elaborating. So one of the questions I'm getting asked is, how does it roll out? So what are the days? When do we start? What's actually, give me a little bit of a breakdown, essentially. If you jump on the website, you'll see the breakdown there. It's in a very sort of big picture view of what is happening. But I'll elaborate a little bit more. So everyone will be arriving on Sunday the 20th, 2 o'clock check-in. And that evening, or that particular day, that's the half day that we have a special event. I'm not going to share too much more. There's something, I'm going to let you connect the dots, essentially, between KM and OT. But there will be a special event on that evening. Then on the next day, we've got a full day with Sorador. So full day with Sorador on Monday, full day with Hubigant on Tuesday. Now, we've pitched some ideas to both these brands. They love these concepts. We're elaborating further. In February, this will begin to take better shape. Okay, so for now, know that Sorador, full day event, there are some exciting concepts that we're sort of working on. Quinton obviously will be there. Obviously, the key elements is the founder is there, or the perfumer is there, the chance to experience their existing core range plus anything new that they may be developing, and then a special integrated event. All right, so that's something that we're working on. Hubigant, for those who might not know, the family, the Paris family, yes. Jean-Luc Paris, his family own the Hubigant brand. So apart from Paris Monte Carlo, they also bought, because they were, and actually it's a long story there, in that this brand was about to be lost into the sands of time, essentially, and they purchased this brand and have resuscitated it. Now, the Hubigant Day will be in Cannes, so we will be along the French Riviera. We've got an awesome day planned and some really cool activities with those guys there, and integrated again with the brand. Now, the Balchaud Day that I mentioned, so that's our third brand. The activity that we've got planned there, this one is now fully elaborated, and I can share a lot more details. So if you jump on, have a look at this particular production, this gives you an insight as to what this day will be. Now, there's another production that's in the works. This one here showed us being in the fields of Grasse. These flower fields belong to Robertet, so we are working, so it's Balchaud and a Robertet day together. We're combining it. The fields that we're going to be in will belong to Robertet, and the chance is that all of us will have the opportunity to be in the fields, to pick the florals, to understand what is happening, what all this means, and then going back to Robertet to understand how these elements are extracted from nature, to actually be very tactile and smell these raw ingredients. The next episode that's about to come out shows now the extraction process, and you may have heard of distillation and enfleurage and all these, I guess the core essence of extracting these oils from the florals that exist, or that was part of Grasse since the 1700s. Well, we're going to be part of all that, and this next production really showcases. For instance, enfleurage is a method that has pretty much also almost died, and Robertet have re-emerged and grabbed a hold of this process. It's very labor-intensive, it's very arduous, but the production coming out, you'll see that we'll get to experience this whole enfleurage experience. As I mentioned before, these are the idea is that we're creating exclusive access events, something that you just can't walk into. It's something that's very much designed by Kevin and I, alongside the brand. So it's really about going behind the scenes, becoming fully immersed like we've done it for other tours. And the South of France is going to become it's a very tactile tour when it comes to understanding the fragrances, the notes, the brands, etc., etc. But again, watch that video. This episode here really goes into a lot of detail as to what you will experience on the particular day. What I'm going to do, I'm going to stop again so that I can continue to help out with all things that Kevin needs. I'm going to, when I reboot, which will be seconds for you, milliseconds, I'm going to talk a little bit more about Balchaud. Who is this brand? It's a brand new brand launched in 2024. And why we're deep diving so closely with these guys and what their fragrances are. There are 4 that I'd love to share, and then I've got a little surprise for you guys, which will also be part of the tour for September next year. Balchaud. Let me reboot on this. So in line with the conversation we've been having with all things KM tours, September next year, south of France, in the actual fields of Grasse. So Balchaud, we've actually partnered with as a brand who is fully invested when it comes to extracting the raw notes. This young lady here, her name is Christina. She's super passionate about, obviously she's super passionate about perfumery and beauty, and I'll tell you what her legacy is. But she's also really, part of her, and actually this episode, it elaborates it even more. Part of what she loves is celebrating the natural. And even though we need, and so just, we need synthetics to create, different expressions in the fragrance. However, and I remember Jean-Luc Paris said this perfectly. He said, I love using synthetics, but if I have the option of choosing or using a natural rose versus a synthetic rose, I will always go for the natural. And this is exactly where the direction that Christina has gone. She's saying that if there's a beautiful note in nature, then she wants to see how that can become part of her collection. Now, the legacy, or the legacy of her brand, is that she previously, her family have always been into soap making. They had a massive soap making business, so she's always been into the naturals and the extracting natural ingredients, etc. Kevin actually first contacted, so the history here, Kevin first made contact with her. He showed me the brand quite a while back. As I said, they're very new. They launched in 2024. If you look online, there's not a lot of talk about the brand, but in fact, the fragrances are exceptional, and I've had an opportunity, and I'm going to share 4 of them that really, really resonate with me and what they like. Now, the part that is exciting is that Christina saw the work that Kevin and I are doing with all things KM fragrance tours, and wanted to, in conversation, Kevin mentioned that we're doing the south of France, and she actually volunteered and said, can I be one of the brands as part of the tour for next year? We had a long conversation, and she said, these are the things that I can bring, and I really want to celebrate naturals, and she actually brought us together with Robertet. So again, I go back, watch this production. This production is awesome. If you love all things niche perfumery, if you love all things celebration of naturals, the history, the extraction process, all that, watch that, because that's a central part of the tour that we'll be doing for next year. Now let me tell you about these fragrances, because I'd like to put them on your radar if you have an opportunity to, if they're accessible to you. I first discovered them in Milan. If you watch this episode here, which is 173, Kevin and I went to the boutique, which is called Art and Perfumi, or Art and Perfumo Milano. And Jean-Luc, who is the owner of the business there, walked us through the different fragrances. Now the 4 here are the ones that he showed us some others, but these ones here just absolutely resonate with me, and I'd like to put them on your radar. You know that I've always banged on about a man should have a good rose fragrance. If you haven't already jumped into that equation, then I'd recommend to you this one here, ROSA du MATIN. And it actually celebrates 2 roses in the actual fragrance. One is from the Balkan area, so it's a Serbian rose oil, and the other one is from Grasse itself, the actual centifolia, the ROSA centifolia. what I love about this is that it balances between being fruity and sort of fun and bubbly, but also a little bit dirty, not necessarily animalic, but definitely a dirty. It's almost like the angel and the devil, you know, how you have it on each shoulder. So it has some elements of that sweetness and that allure, but it also has a little bit of that sort of sultry seduction piece of it also. The balance is fantastic. The fragrance is, so as a man, if you're uncomfortable with florals in your fragrance, Rosa du Matin, just check it out, put it on skin. You're gonna find that this is a fantastic rose fragrance for a man, for a woman, easy. So one of my editors, Hannah, she's all things rose, she loves all things rose, and this is the one she's constantly spraying. Actually, we have a library system, and both editors are like, yo, I'm missing my fragrances, you know, so they have to reboot their library selection. Anyway, Hannah, I'm gonna say she's gonna be wanting to put this on her rotation, but not just yet, because I'm still using it for things. I'm gonna do a full review on all these, but this is basically to put it on your radar. The key here, so man or woman, I mean, you see florals in a woman's fragrance is easy for men. I just recommend it. It's a really good, easy rose fragrance for a man to wear. I know I always say, and actually got one more. So the Radical Rose, I've always said that's a fantastic rose for a man. I would even say put this one before it, because Radical Rose can be a little bit on that fruity, sort of bubbly, has that raspberry note on the opening. Whereas here, it's that balance between the fruity and fun, but also that dirty, a little bit sort of seductive, heavier, dirtier notes. And it's basically the patchouli. There's a patchouli in the base. All right, next one. Let me keep moving. This one here, I didn't enjoy it at first, but this is a persistent monster. And actually, it was purely like, I sprayed it and I'm like, oh, it's not what I thought. The fragrance is meant to be a balance between an oud and a marshmallow note. And to pronounce it, here we go, you ready? Oud Guimauve. Oud Guimauve. I think that's how you say it. Luke, who is my French professor, he will adjust it. But basically, it's an oud marshmallow partnering. The reality is this. I don't get, yes, it is a fruity and fun, playful sort of note, but what is marshmallow? I mean, it's a hard thing to lock down. The best way I can define it, it's a balance between a mango note, a passion fruit note, and then a sweetness in there. It's super appealing. As I said, when I first sprayed it, I was anticipating, I guess, an animalic, a sassiness, a little bit of that dirtiness that comes from oud. Zero. You're not getting any of that. The one thing, so in looking at the notes, it does have oud in the base. One thing that it has is incredible staying power. So I have been wearing it. The other day I was testing again in preparation for today. The fragrance that I had on me was my own beautiful divine fragrance of Roma 271, which I'm a little bit addicted to that fragrance. I'm wearing it constantly. Anyway, I had that on and I was out, but what was I smelling? What was sort of continuing to present itself was Oud Guimauve. The sweetness, the tropical, that passion fruit, that mango element of it just kept coming forward. It does, when it dries down, go a bit more on the woody aspects of the fragrance. There is a number of sort of cedar wood, and I think there's sandalwood in there, there's guaiac wood, so there's a number of woods in there, including the oud. So it doesn't really go into anything dirty. If you're scared of oud, great place to begin. It is a very beautifully, and actually what I've discovered, all the Balchauds are incredibly balanced. There's nothing that really sort of dominates. In even the last one, so Mango CUIR, I'll tell you all about that. Even though it's quite a robust leather note in there, it doesn't overtly dominate above the fruit note of the mango. So anyway, Mango Guimauve, fantastic, really fun, a youthful, playful fragrance. If you want something animalic, it's not the one for you, but it is a great oud, long-lasting fragrance. The one that we're all addicted on at the moment is AMOUR Citron. So this one here, was one that this is the one that Kevin first put me onto. No matter who I show this fragrance, it is an instant love. And I think the bottom line to it, that it's a citrus fragrance. I find that citrus fragrances, people easily gravitate towards. It's something that they're just super lovable, essentially. The thing with citruses is that they do fade away. So I won't name names, but they've got a beautiful collection of citruses, but I do need to sort of respray after maybe 4 or 5 hours. Whereas I find that AMOUR Citron has this long-lasting, a lot more robust nature to the fragrance. There's a great fragrance by Roger Dove called Elysium Eau Intense. Now, the thing about that, it has a fantastic grapefruit note, but it's paired with this rhubarb, and you're getting a very scratchy, very almost aggressive citrus opening to that fragrance, and then as it settles down, it becomes a lot more appealing. Whereas this guy here has that grapefruit note. It is very discernible and very distinct. It does have a strength to it, but it's paired back with, let me just make sure that I'm saying it right, beep, bop, boop, boom. It is paired back with a plum note in the base and also a black currant. Now, obviously those are constructed notes or fruit notes in the fragrance, but what that's doing is I guess the scratchiness that can sometimes occur with that grapefruit note. Same thing happens with Vibrato, has a bit of a scratchy sort of opening. Here, the grapefruit is present, it has this robust citrus nature to it, but those particular fruit notes are bringing it back and making it just super enticing, very appealing. Like I said, on first spray, you're like, whoa, what is this thing? The great news is that it does have great longevity. There are a number, and I don't know what they are, but it's listed as a number of synthetic notes in the base, and I think that's also creating this sort of longevity in the actual fragrance itself. It does have, so as it begins to dry down, it does have a neroli-esque element to it, meaning that it does go a little bit on the bitter side, but it also has that green element. One fragrance that also has great bones and great longevity is Xerjoff's Renaissance. And I did think to myself, is it similar to that? The answer is no. I find that Xerjoff goes a little bit, Renaissance goes a little bit more on that green woody, whereas here the earlier grapefruit citrus element of it does stay within the actual fragrance all the way through the life of it. It does have, the rose projects itself. The oud projects itself, like I said, it sort of overpowers, yet the AMOUR Citron is actually present also. So I don't have to sort of bury my nose too deep to get that scent profile. I'm actually getting it quite well. Fantastic as a summer fragrance. I mean, it is glorious. Today is a stinking hot day, and this fragrance here is perfect for that kind of environment. Now, the last one I have spoken about many times. I did do I actually did a lineup did 3 episodes, 5 fragrances that I came across whilst I was in Europe, and also Cannes, new releases that I want to put on your radar. I covered this one as one of them, episode 178, and it's Mango CUIR. This is exceptional. If you like, if you like mango scent notes, and if you like leather, again, the balance, Balchaud, the balance between these 2 notes is immaculate. I'm not going to go into huge detail. I'd love you to have a look at that particular video because I haven't eaten today. Did you hear that? I've been literally just snacking on whatever's in front of me, only because I was calling it the drums of hell. It was, actually think of those old galleys, the Roman galleys, doom, 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 you have to row to those strokes. That was what was happening in here. We were just trying to get all these orders out. Anyway, have a look at that episode 178 because it does I go into a lot more detail. What it makes me think of, the best thing to sort of, so quickly as a snapshot, the mango is a balance between the green sort of, the green element, it's a little bit on that mango sort of touch, but not overtly juicy, and then the juicy, pulpy mango. And it sits in between that because you actually get a little bit of that greenness, but you also get that juiciness. I find that some fragrances either dive one way or the other. I find here with Mango CUIR, it actually sits very comfortably in the middle. And then that leather note becomes a bit more, again, on that tropical side, it becomes a bit more of that wet, sort of, it makes me think of my time when I used to live in Papua New Guinea. It makes me think of my time there. I haven't sprayed this because this now will dominate everything. It'll even supersede the mango GUIMAUVE that I've got on. Look at that, one spray, boom. This thing's a monster. So if you love leather fragrances, this is something you need to go hunt down. It's really, really impressive. And this has great presence. I'm gonna say that you enter a room wearing this and it will walk in with you. You know, people will go, whoa, someone's wearing something really, really exceptional. And I'm getting there because so something that robust, you think that the animalic leather elements will sort of dominate. But in fact, I'm getting a very clear, that mango, not too sweet, not too green, just beautifully balanced. Have a look at the video that I did with Kevin and Gianluca. He talked about this fragrance too and really said this is a statement maker, and having now worn it and experienced it, this is a statement maker. So if you like a good, those boss sort of fragrances, Mango CUIR is definitely the one that I would recommend. 4 fragrances from Balchaud. I think they've got 2 others in the collection. These ones here just absolutely resonated with me. I love wearing them, and something that I'll do a deeper dive down. I love doing my breakdown of how the fragrance evolves and moves, but to put them on your radar. Now, the experience that we're gonna have in south of France, I'm so excited to tell you that we've already, check it out. And actually, Christina was very gracious when we met with her, that she actually gave me the samples of the new fragrances that are about to be released. So these will be released next year. I'm not going to tell you anything about them until the point I'm even hiding the names. These 2 are exceptional, and the two ingredients here really dive deeper with all things Robertet and how they extract certain ingredients. There were some clues that we gave in that episode of Grasse of what is actually going to be in these particular fragrances, but let me just say, stunning, stunning, stunning. So those who join us on the tour will be part of that. Christina is, anyway, I won't go into it, but there are little treats as part of the tour. This is also part of the tour. So every brand that we work with, they are very supportive when it comes to the things that they allow our guests to have, essentially. And I know that Christina is organizing some pretty cool things. Boom, I'm gonna stop one more time, and then I'll be back for announcements. I'm back. If you only could see how long this Maté talk is taking, it's like a 3-day event. Normally I turn the camera on and it's linear running time. Whereas today, I think I started filming like at 11 o'clock. Yeah, it's coming on to nearly 5 o'clock. And that's because, boom, we've been packing orders, baby. Today has been a very exciting day. Grace, she's been editing this Maté talk, mentioned that she was getting 3rd-degree anxiety, I think. The level of energy that was in the office with all of us trying to beat the time trial, because the truck said it was going to be here, or the DHL truck was going to be here between 12 and 6. And Murphy's Law, of course, you know it's never going to be towards 6. It's going to be more towards 12. In the end, it was 2:30 when it arrived. So we knew that we just had to keep punching this thing out. The good news is this: all international orders that we received during our pre-sale, they will go out this week. So we had a pickup. Here it is. Today, there will be a pickup tomorrow. We've already scheduled that in, and there will be a pickup on Friday. If you could see the office, there is boxes and stuff right here, boxes and stuff over there, boxes and stuff over there, and then in the other room, deeper in the office, boxes and stuff. So we are swimming, we're swimming in OT, which is very exciting. If you place an order today, so if you were like, I really want to get myself the Roma 271 because Marcelo is ODing on that, and it is true, then yeah, you go ahead and put that order. You know that you're going to get it this week. We're going to, any orders that now are coming through, we've done all the hurdle jumping essentially with DHL, yada yada. We're all sweet. We're moving forward now. So this is going to be us. Now, in amongst orders that are going out, and I just want to highlight this because I want to make sure that if you receive this Willy Wonka card that's going to be placed inside your Pelle Viola, and basically what this is Luca Maffei signed this certificate of authenticity that is going into all the Pelle Violas. There's only 10 of them in circulation, so if you happen to get one, please post. For me, it's just the nerd in me wants to see these out in the wild and who actually got these. This one is mine, so we had Luca sign 10 cards, but then I asked him to sign one for me, one for Kevin, so this is my 11 of 12, and I showed you earlier Kevin's 11 of 10, and Kevin's got 12 of 10. Anyway, these are, it's just a little bit of fun. For those who might not know, Pelle Viola, we're using a exclusive iris compound from the Iris Blue Farm, which is in Florence. This is a private farm that belongs to Luca Maffei's company, AFM. He does not blend with other compounds, so it's a small yield farm. It does 1.3 tons per annum, and when it's gone, it's gone. That oil is allocated to different perfumes that he has created. He's allocated and will always allocate to Olfactive Traveler, but there is only a set number that he can actually give us. This year, 500 was the max. So this is what this certifies, that we're numbering, well, one, the actual harvest, which will be 2025, and then numbering the 500, which number you get in that bottle, in your bottle, which is pretty cool. Just to let you know, Pelle Viola has become the bestseller. A lot of people have bought it because it is such an exclusive item. Those who've now been receiving their orders, and I love all the posts that are coming through, Pelle Viola is gorgeous. It's really something exceptional, and I do look forward, all you international peoples, once you receive your order, I look forward to hearing what your thoughts are on Pelle Viola. It's one that we've fallen in love with here in the office. Now, the good news too is USA. We have our grand opening. We're turning on the lights in the US on the 12th of the 12th, 12/12, mark that date. We will be doing a live. Now, the essence of the live is the timing of that will be so that it's easy for West Coast, East Coast. You guys then, everybody in between can work out your times. Here are the times. So on the 12th of the 12th, this is when we will do a live, Kevin and I. Locally, it will be around, I think, 2 p.m. Around the world, the timing is bad. So I know Central Europe, I think you guys are like at 2 in the morning or 3 in the morning. If you can join us, if those people who have received their orders would like to jump on and share the love of the fragrances that they're enjoying, we would love that. The idea is that this is an event designed very much specifically for the US. The promo that we had running for the world will also be made available to all our US friends, and that is free delivery, so you'll get that, and we're using DHL, so it's super amazing. Free delivery for over this period, and I'll tell you the dates. And also you'll receive the Traveler as an extra, as a gift. The OT Traveler, for those who might not be aware, it's a leather-bound, hand-stitched item. It's we've gone into a lot of trouble to create this. For us, this is our calling card, and the idea behind it. So we've purposely priced this at a very accessible price point. The intention is that we want people, for those who want to test and experience the fragrances, we want people to experience them through something like this, but then it becomes an incredible keepsake, something that you can use for the rest of your life, essentially, as a traveler. I mean, in here you can fit pens, but obviously the perfume is better. There are 8 mil sticks, 1 of each. I also need to point out there are limited numbers on these because part of that 500 that we created for Pelle Viola included an additional number of these guys. So when the harvest is finished, essentially, yeah, anyway, I'll cross that bridge when we get to it. But basically, the Traveler is something that we don't have massive amount of. But that will become a free gift. So what we did for everybody across the world, buy a full bottle, you'll get free delivery, and you'll also get this as a gift on a full bottle purchase. Boom. Even if you bought this, you'll still get free delivery, US people, just to let you know. We'll actually switch the button on during the live. So just so you know, 12:12. Last time, one of the things we had is when are we going? When is the store going to be open? Yada yada. So this time around, we're going to do it a little bit different. Jump on the live, and then maybe 30 minutes into it, that's when we'll do a countdown. I want to do like a New Year's Eve countdown. I say to Kevin, I want to count this thing down. I want to finally turn on the windows, the lights for the US customers. We've got a wonderful young lady who's working with us now. Some of you may have received emails from her. Her name is Michelle. She's doing an awesome job. For those who've received part of the mailing list, so if you're part of the mailing list, you'll be getting emails. She's building these, and honestly, she's been, for me, a godsend. She's just so incredible at what she does. So she's gonna be on standby, and actually she's managing all the website and all that sort of stuff. So she will turn on the website for the US at a particular time. We're gonna count this thing down. Any questions for me in regards to international orders or in regards to the US grand opening on the 12/12, please let me know. Put it in the comments. I'll do my best to answer as quickly as possible. Looping back onto all things KM Fragrance Tours, that is live now. So if the things that I shared today, the questions that that have been asked, I did my best to answer them in the actual in this episode. If you've got any further questions, please ask me, and that give me the chance, one, to respond to you, but also to see if I'm still hungry, to see if I need to maybe do another sort of follow-up video in anticipation of another possible question with Sorador and Hubigant once. So February, I think I may have said this, like I said, it's been like 3 and I've forgotten what I've said. But if I haven't said this, what will happen in February, I'll have much more detailed sort of elaboration on what these brands are going to do, and I'll make sure to share. But for now, the one that's really elaborated is Balchaud, being in the actual, in the fields. I think we're even having a picnic in one of the fields or something like that. All of this is being coordinated between Christina and Robertet, so I'm super excited. Last thing I was going to share is, for those who are familiar, I love doing the Discovery series as a concept. The idea is that you and me can smell fragrances together. I love breaking things down, the notes, how they work. I love to unbox the motivation behind the brand, and I do a lot of research to create something quite engaging. Essentially, for me, it's a masterclass in that brand. I'm excited to do it on my own brand. I'm going to give you some insights that you may not know. So if you'd like to join me, now initially I said that was going to come out on the 7th. Michelle, under her great wisdom, said we should really, there's a lot of messaging right now with Christmas and Christmas parties and so many things that are happening. So she actually suggested to push this back to the 28th, I think it is. So I will launch the OT Discovery series with the Traveler at the end of the month. Okay, so that gives, if you would like to purchase a Traveler and then follow me during that episode, you can feel free to do so. Okay, so yeah, anyway, jump on the website. The Traveler is available anywhere around the world, and the US 12/12, boom, it will also be part of that. That's it. The 5-day event, Maté Talk, is done. I'm so happy that it's finished, because it's very hot in here. I had the fan going, but I had to turn it off because it's very noisy. Thank you, everyone. I look forward to hearing your comments or reading your comments. I will do my best to answer. It's been, I mean, some of these nights I'm finishing at 1 in the morning, and then back in the office here about 7:30. Hence why I was not able to finish off the episode on the weekend. There will be something coming out this weekend, so yeah, just trying to make sure that they're keeping the flow. I'm going to stop. Goodbye. Thanks, everyone. See you on the next Maté Talk.